So just to understand the question right, it is saying that what content gets delivered, which is contextual to the SMS, or is it, what was the question actually? Could you just repeat that?
Dinesh, the question is that how does SMS2 deliver relevant content or customized content based on the interests of the users? And
Okay.
perhaps you could share like how we have different categories of contents and feeds and so on.
Yeah, so thanks. It's actually an opt-in program, so as Anuj explained up front, that the user decides what categories. If somebody has an interest in music or videos or cricket or astrology or any of the topics or business news, financial news, they decide what they want, and based on that, we will deliver the content on the crawler or the banners which were shown in the demonstration. So user can start getting those banners which will just scroll right and left. Based on that, as again explained in a non-intrusive manner, and somebody has an interest on, click on that banner, the information opens up, and then further they want to read more about it, it gives you the full content. So the content is very specific to the opt-in needs of a user. That's the way, and the categorization, what we're working with Apple is approximately 25 categories, which will be made available for India or India-centric content outside India. Same should apply to the regional contents, whether it's in Singapore, Hong Kong, China, Malaysia, United Kingdom. Apple has partnerships, programs in place, I understand that, and that's the way the content will be delivered and blended to meet the consumer needs.
Right. I hope that answers your question. Thanks, Dinesh. If you have further questions on that, we'll have opportunities to have one-on-one interviews. Yes, yes, please.
I have one question. I'm Lunita from Wireless World magazine. This question I think is for Alice. For advertisers, how do they gauge success on the mobile? Is it the same as internet clicks, or do they have to actually click in to view the whole thing? How does it work?
I mean, it really depends on what your objective is going to be for the advertiser, and ideally you want to track it down to that real metric, so drive it to a response. So the simplest, it would be a click, but really to get that true metric, you want to look at it. Do we want to drive them down to the restaurant, or do we want them to actually purchase at some point? So that they would be the types of metrics we would be looking at.
Okay. Right. Thanks so much. Yes. Please.
Hi, Hidirman here from Today newspaper. I'd like to ask Dinesh, how much has this new platform helped to grow your readership and your audience?
Okay, Dinesh, the question is for you from Today newspaper. The question is how much of this media has helped to increase your viewership and audience for your content?
Right.
Yeah.
So I will actually answer the question which was asked earlier as well from the lady before. I think as the content is, or the user has an opt-in choice, the ads which are served are contextually sensitive ad or the category ads. And I think the performance which was asked, question was asked, the click-throughs go up because that's what people want to see. And click-throughs to conversions change also dramatically. I think it has been proven in Airtel's success model that we have seen some tremendous hike from impressions to clicks. And some categories they have gone up to 7 to 8%. So I think from an advertiser standpoint, the time will tell, but I think the early trials prove that it's a very intrusive, targeted audience, and it will deliver what needs to be delivered. It could be conversions or lead generations or impressions or branding. All those capabilities exist within the platform. That's one aspect of the question. Second was, yes, because the content delivered is also specific to the user's choice, because if somebody is looking for news.
SMS 2.0 is, the analogy that I would give to you is like we are creating a media. We are creating a media on which the consumer can experience any form of content. Whether it is, it's like, think of it as a browser blended with an SMS if you like, right? Now on this particular media, the consumer could experience content, ads. It could be peer-to-peer content, it could be blogs, What is SMS? SMS is about posting a message to your friend who is on your contact book. Maybe in future it could be posting a message to a blog, which could be seen by the consumer on the channel at the bottom. I wouldn't limit the offering, to say that it doesn't offer that or doesn't offers this. It's limitless. It's a media on which you can show any form of content. And when I mentioned earlier that we are ambitious enough to want to change the first S of SMS, I was hinting towards that there will be a lot of these opportunities of peer-to-peer content as well. Okay, but that's in the future. We could take one last question, and then perhaps I'm sure there are quite a few interviews scheduled for our panelists. Is there any one final question here on the floor? Yes.
Anush, a question for you, Winston from Business Times. Essentially, SMS would be the lowest common denominator in the world of mobile applications. With this, you are essentially launching something that allows the consumer to do exactly what they did before, with the exception of now they're presented with mobile ads. What tangible incentive is there for the consumer to do this? That's the first question.
Okay.
Second one is, how about plans for Windows Mobile and Linux operating systems?
Sure. I think a very important question which I have been trying to answer since the beginning is that if you see Apple's corporate message, the consumer rules, we are not in just the business of delivering ads to the user. We are not. SMS2 is about enabling a media. Media delivers value to users. Right? As all of us would agree, we are all from the media business. We deliver news, we deliver information to the user that they want, in the format that they want, where they want it, and they consume that. Advertising is a part of it. Now, we are delivering this media to the user free of cost, as part of a very blended consumer experience. Now, let me ask a question. How many times have you opened a browser on your mobile phone? How many of you have opened a browser on your mobile phone? Okay. Yeah, obviously. Now, I have too. Okay, but most of the people out there, the masses at large, they know this is a device that is always connected, always in our hands. But we have only used this device to make phone calls or send text messages. What is Apple doing? Apple is trying to bring these users who are only doing phone calls and text messages and kind of holding their hand and saying, continue to do text messages as easily as you were doing before, but come and experience with us the world of internet and content which is available on the mobile, free of cost, in a personalized way. So think of us as allowing users to have a more engaging SMS experience at the same cost as SMS, blended with the content that the users want, free of cost, delivered to them in a personalized way, in a non-intrusive way, and getting them to experience the power of mobile through their very familiar, simple SMS screen.
Can I just add to that for that
Yeah.
first part? It wouldn't work if it were just ads. It really is about the content and that touch point. And if it's the right content at the right time, then from our perspective, we look at how we can add to that opportunity. So it may not be an ad. It may be targeting maybe a client like Nike, where we're targeting for youth, and they could be able to download a wallpaper onto their mobile phone or something like that. Again, simple, basic advertising is not going to work. It's about the content that you can receive on it, the ease of use, because it's colourful and it's cool, and then the relevancy to you.
Yeah, and see, I was in the same position as you. When we started Apple, we were all questioning, what is it for the user? What is it for the user? Then, you have to realize that sometimes when we sit and think about it, we can't judge it. We really have to go out and try, and we have tried that. So after going out in Singapore and in India and getting a phenomenal response from the consumers, we let them be the kings, let them decide. If the consumer is saying this is good, they like it, we believe we have got it right. And that's my only validation. I wouldn't just say that I think it is right and therefore it is. No, it's not. It's the consumer. They are defining what they want. And very, very importantly, I think we are looking at a case where we listen to the consumers and give them the complete opt-in and the power to personalize this. And therefore, what is it for the consumer is very, very clearly answered in that.